It is not easy to stay optimistic in the middle of a worldwide pandemic, but the Dalai Lama says there are still many reasons to be thankful. The spiritual leader of Tibet's Buddhists is doing a lot less traveling these days because of COVID-19 concerns and his age. Ramy Inocencio spoke with the Dalai Lama this morning. So, Ramy, what did you learn? It's always interesting to hear what the Dalai Lama has to say.
Well, the word, Gail, obviously is enlightening every time you speak to the Dalai Lama. This was my first time. Very excited to speak with him for 90 minutes total. We distilled this all down for you this morning. But, you know, he is safe and isolated from coronavirus in northern India at his residence there. But technology definitely shortened that distance between here and Tokyo. There in Tokyo, rather. But we talked about compassion, we talked about racism in the United States, and we also talked about President Trump.
While Buddhist followers spin prayer wheels to accumulate good karma using gloves for protection, high in the Himalayas of northern India, the Dalai Lama lives and prays. The exiled Tibetan spiritual leader's message of compassion and altruism is unchanged on the eve of his 85th birthday. His Holiness stays social from a distance.
What is a day in the life of the Dalai Lama during the coronavirus pandemic?
There's not much differences. As a Buddhist practitioner, mind is more important than physical.
Isolation is not new for the Dalai Lama. He fled Tibet in 1959 after China invaded and annexed his country. He's lived in Dharamsala ever since, but he tells me he watches the news every day.
How do you make sense of the suffering in the world right now?
Now in America, it's quite, I say, narrow-minded thinking. Black people, white people, we are same human brothers, sisters. They, on the basis of color, and also, you see, different faith, different religion, and different country. Now, these are old thinking.
How do we teach people to not be racist, to not be discriminatory?
I think we should emphasize oneness, sameness, emphasis that. All these, you see, strong feeling of differences, that is short-sighted, narrow-minded.
The Dalai Lama and Tibet's 3 million people have been sidelined themselves by China. Beijing has imprisoned Tibetans, diluted the Tibetan language, and made pictures of the Dalai Lama himself illegal, replaced with pictures of China's President Xi Jinping.
What does Washington need to do about ensuring or supporting the future of Tibet and its identity?
When he became president, he mentioned America first. That I find uncomfortable.
Would you be happy to meet President Trump if he invited you?
Because of my physical long flight, is not easy. President Trump come to India, but then, frankly speaking, sometimes President Trump too much sort of complicated.
And there you hear the Dalai Lama with his noticeable laughter. On a lighter note also, the Dalai Lama is celebrating his 85th birthday this July 6th in just less than 2 weeks' time. And guess what? He's dropping his very first album. It's called Inner Worlds, and it's a mix of him chanting mantras along with that set to drum and bass. So it proves that you are never too old to start something new. Anthony.
That's right.
Ramy Inocencio in Tokyo. Thank you. I love the Dalai Lama's laugh. It gets me every time.
No, I love him saying, you know, President Trump too complicated, and then he just sort of laughs. And what do you say after that? Oh, okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Where do you go?